Today is the last week that we will be studying drawing. Now, this method that we are going to learn today is that we are going to find the basic shapes in our drawing and draw those shapes and then fill in the outline after we draw the shapes. This is probably the method that I use the most, or at least I study objects in this way. And I have a piece of glass over the top of my photo reference just to show you, for example, what I'm seeing in this picture. So there are three basic shapes that pretty much make up every other shape. That is the circle, the square, and the triangle. So, or you could say rectangle, the circle, the rectangle, and the triangle. So basically everything is made up of those three shapes. So here I'm looking at this green part of this flower and I could make a triangle shape from that. I'm finding the round shapes or the oval shapes in this flower part. And then I see triangles. By being able to see those shapes, I can draw this flower easily. I also see that this pretty much almost makes up a square. A wonky square, but a square nonetheless. So, if you have your picture, and you have a piece of tracing paper, you can draw this out like this. So let me put it on a white background so you can see. Alright, I have my paper taped down and I have my little cheater card that I already made, and now I'm just going to draw this out on my paper really quickly. See how quick and easy that was? Just drawing in those shapes. So now I'm gonna look at my picture here and I'm gonna start filling in, using these shapes as a guide, I'm gonna start filling in the picture. So if I take each lesson into consideration here that we've done, not only am I drawing using the shapes, but I'm also paying attention to the edge like we learned in the first lesson to make the edge interesting. Using the shapes, we can oversimplify the edge unintentionally just because it can be really easy to just draw a line from here to here instead of taking into account that there's some different texture on the edge. The edge is more rough. But it depends on the style of the drawing and how much detail you want to put in. If you want it to be oversimplified, that's a style. That's a different style. You could play with the edge quality of your drawings to see what you want to do. So one thing that I've heard, if you want to develop your own style of art, drawing is the key to that. Drawing is going to teach you, it's your mark. So just as I've used this analogy all the time, but it just makes sense that just as your handwriting is not the same as somebody else's handwriting, drawing and handwriting kind of go hand in hand. You're going to, the more that you draw, the more you're going to discover how you actually draw and your own style. So I feel like drawing is really the gateway into developing your own style. So the more you draw, the easier it is to see what you like and what you want to bring out into the picture. It's the key to being a better artist. So don't cheat yourself and just practice drawing as often as you can. So I could even use the negative space to make shapes here. Once you start practicing this way of drawing enough times, you actually kind of stop drawing the shapes out necessarily, and you kind of more think about them in your head. At least that's what happens to me. Is I'm drawing, I'm kind of imagining a triangle there without actually drawing the triangle. But maybe that just happens to me, and maybe you'll always want to draw the triangles and the circles out. Okay, so I have this note card that I started with the cross contour line drawing. I'm going to draw on the back of it the 5 different ways that we drew, that we learned to draw, and then we can use that note card anytime we need a refresher on drawing, or we pull it. If we mix these cards up and then pull one out, we might choose one way to draw. So you can either do that, you can make your list of 5 drawing methods, or you can do a note card for each drawing method. That would work too. So we learned blind contour drawing, we learned cross contour line drawing, we learned gesture drawing, drawing using angles, and drawing using shapes. I clearly used this note card for something else before, so, or I had started using it. That doesn't have anything to do with the lesson that we are talking about today. So that is how I use this method of drawing to draw. And I'm gonna go ahead and go over my lines with a fine, ultra fine Sharpie pen, and then I'm gonna erase all of the shapes from the inside of the drawing here. And then that pretty much completes the lesson. However, I am going to color this drawing in colored pencil. In the cross contour line drawing video, I had mentioned how you can learn to shade by using the cross contour lines, and I wanted to elaborate on that today. I'm going to color this in colored pencil. I know colored pencils aren't in your kit, so this is kind of just a bonus lesson, but hopefully you have colored pencils around your house. That's a pretty common art supply. So I am going to draw the edge of this in my Sharpie marker and get the shape, and then I'm going to color it in colored pencil. Alright, so I have my colored pencils here. I'm using Prisma colored pencils. And we are just going to color in this picture, this drawing. Try not to slide my fingers over the paper too much because we have natural oils in our fingers and you don't want to get that on your picture. But so I'm going to start out by just kind of grabbing the colors that I want to use here. So I'm grabbing a variety of greens, and I'm gonna grab a variety of reds, and maybe even a little bit of purple there. We'll start from there, and then I can grab other colors as I need them. But I like to kind of simplify, even though that's still kind of a lot of colored pencils, but then it helps with not being too overwhelmed here. Alright, so as I color, I'm going to go along the edges or the contour, and that's the direction that I'm going to color. I'm not going to color straight up and down this way or side to side this way. I'm going to try and follow the curves of these flowers. So to begin with, I'm just going to go really light, and I'm just going to start filling in some of that base color. Paying attention to where the highlights are. I'm going to speed the video up because I think that this is a long process. It's going to take a long time, and I think that would be really boring to watch color this whole thing. So when I color, but I am going to give you a couple tips first. When I color, I'm going in a circular motion. And with pencil, it might be a good idea. I might go grab a cotton glove, or it might be a good idea to put a piece of paper down so that my hand's not smudging, because I do have a tendency when I'm coloring, especially with such a small area, to drag my hand across the paper, and that can cause smudging. So you can either get a cotton glove, or you can just put a piece of tissue paper or paper in between so you're not smearing your picture.